All right. We are backstage in Montreal at Lasso with Warren Zeiders. First time getting to chat with you on Pure Country. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, my dear.
How are you feeling? We are close to showtime, but you have a new album out, and you were just saying before we hopped on here that you celebrated yesterday a little bit.
Yes, celebrated a little bit last night, yes.
Does it feel good having a full body of workout? Because, like, for fans, there's a lot of time and thought and work that goes into putting out this record. It's not just like record a few songs and throw it out in the world.
No, there's so much behind the scenes, and I wrote a letter yesterday, or a couple days ago, that I put up, and that I just put up yesterday on my Instagram, just talking about thanking my fans and everything, and being a 24-year-old who only started doing this 2 years ago,
Which is crazy.
From my childhood bedroom, posting covers of myself for pure enjoyment, to now being a full-fledged country artist, kind of
playing at a festival in Canada,
taking over the scene a little bit, But no, I know it's crazy. I was sitting with my tour manager, and we were sitting there eating breakfast and having a coffee, and I was like, I'm in Canada right now. It's like, what?
So cool. And you've never played a show in Canada before?
No, I've never played a show.
Well, this is
never
a really good spot to start.
Yes.
I think you're starting, the bar is high here. And how crazy is it? Because it's been really cool to watch your journey. Was it 2 years ago what was it, 2020? That was when you kind of started putting out to the public, like, hey guys, I'm an incredible singer, but I'm not just going to do cover songs. I'm going to kind of start dabbling in my own music.
Yep. I was posting covers, and I like to say the Taylor Swift method. I was just honestly paying attention. I was just reading their comments, and they wanted original music from me. So it's honestly easy to listen to people and pay attention. You just got to do it. And I was like, I've never claimed to be an artist. I never said I've been doing this, but I'll give it a shot and try it out. Lo and behold, second song I ever write is Ride the Lightning. So it's
crazy.
It's crazy.
So how does that happen for you? Like, when you decided to start writing your own music, you had not done any of that prior to writing these first couple songs that you put out there. Did you write them at home, or did you kind of like look into, how should I write these songs and kind of tell my story?
I think I kind of looked at people that have influenced me along the way, looked at lyrics, thought more about melody, and kind of thought about what's the story I want to tell. And the first song I wrote in my childhood bedroom was my song On the Run, which I recorded in my bedroom. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just had fun writing a song, kind of figuring out, okay, what's a chorus, what's a verse, what's the story you got to tell. And then before you know it, I go down to Nashville for the first time, have my first co-write, and we write Ride the Lightning. And I never in a million years would I thought the second song I'd ever write would be what explodes me onto the scene.
It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool.
It's a lot to digest.
It is a lot yeah, for sure. But it's interesting that, like, music has always been a big part of your life, even though sports, I know that was kind of at the forefront for you for a long time, your whole life and everything. But music was always there. You just didn't know how important it was until a couple years ago.
100%. Music was always there for me. I think that I always like to say I never had anybody in my life telling me, you have a talent, you have a gift, you should pursue this. It was just something that I kind of did. I was the dude who picked up a guitar and would go play around a bonfire for your friends and family. But it wasn't until, hopping on social media while I was my senior year of college trying to pass the time, because we were all, closed down for COVID and everything. And again, I was just posting for pure enjoyment, just to soak up time.
Right.
I didn't want to study for class.
It must be so wild for, like, friends and family members who, we all have someone, in our past that we remember going to parties and, like, there was always the guy that picked up the guitar and would go play, some cover songs and stuff. But for your friends back home that are like, that guy that used to play cover songs for us at parties is now sitting here with, like, just massive success and a huge fan base. It's probably wild for your family and friends to see this journey so, close up.
Yeah. I mean, my parents were not wild about me dropping out of college.
As most parents probably would be.
Most parents probably would be. They were concerned about, like, is this real? Because at that point in time, it was all just numbers on social media, and they couldn't comprehend that. So
it's hard to realize that those are real people.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. I think the weird thing is too though, is that they are real people, but it's one thing to take social media success and actually convert it into platforms, to streaming platforms, to shows, to ticket sales. Like, it's a whole other beast. And I think that I'm just blessed. I'm very grateful, and my fan base is rabid. It's played last night in New York for 3,000 people, and
So cool.
people go ballistic when I take the stage.
So fun. Do you think that sports, because you were very competitive in lacrosse, which Canadian
Still am
fans,
competitive.
yeah, you are very competitive still, which is a great mentality to have in the music industry, but because it is kind of like a sport, it is a sport
Yeah.
in itself, but do you find that that has really helped you as far as, because there is so much more to music than just like writing a song and recording it and performing it. There is a lot of
Yes.
other stuff that's happening behind the scenes.
Amen to that. I think, that's the beauty of what we do in this industry, is that it's not your fans' job to see the behind the scenes of everything that's going into it. I think some of the most successful people in this industry are the ones that make it look easy. The expression, never let them see you sweat. But
Yeah.
they don't see the hours of sleepless nights in the studio, the hours of travel on your body, of sleeping in a bunk on a bus or in a van for months at a time, to all these things, whether it's radio tour, all these different things that go on, and that's not their job, and that's okay. But I think having that sports acumen, what I had for my entire life, that, my faith and my family, I like to talk those pillars of my life, that's what's built me up for success.
So cool. Okay, since you've had a lot of really great things happen in the last little while, what is the coolest thing that you've kind of had to like check yourself that music has made happen for you?
The best one that I always like to say was back at the end of May. I just had my birthday, and I got a chance of opening up for George Strait at a stadium show. And
That's pretty cool.
King of country music,
Yeah.
most number ones ever. And it was so surreal for me because it was the biggest attendance they ever had for a 4 o'clock opener. And Ohio treats me really well. And I got done playing, and it didn't hit me that I just played a stadium show until I saw both my parents weeping. And then I started crying, and then because I just realized what I had just accomplished.
Yeah, you're probably having one of those out-of-body experiences where you're like, I just got to focus on playing the songs and not think too much about the fact of how many people I'm playing to.
I think that's a big thing. I think that's a big sports thing, too. It's being focused on what you're doing at that point in time, because all I could think about was I need to put on the best performance I've ever seen at a 4 o'clock opening slot.
Right. So cool. Okay, last thing before we go, because I always find it interesting. I think it says a lot about an artist on what they're listening to when they're not solely focused on their own music and in the studio, which you've obviously been focused on yours a lot lately. But the album's out. So what is something when you're trying to like zone out of your own music that you will turn on and just your favorite artists that you're listening to right now?
Me and my boys, we're all over the board. Like when I'm working out, or I'm huge into rap and hip hop.
Okay.
When it comes to pump up, pre-show, or me and my boy, we boxed before a lot on the road.
Cool.
So I like to go to the beats for that. Also love.
You're probably not listening to George Strait.
Shout out to Nickelback too. Huge Nickelback fans.
I love that.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
I'm all over the board. Motley Crue, AC/DC,
different.
Right. I'm all over.
Different activities you're doing. You're gonna listen.
I love Justin Bieber too.
Who doesn't love Justin Bieber?
I know.
Maybe
You're lying if you don't like Justin Bieber.
Have you done a Justin Bieber cover?
I have not, but I've thought about it.
Okay, well, we need to maybe put that on the to-do list.
I could do that.
Awesome. So good to meet you. Thanks for joining us on Pure Country, Warren Zeiders.